Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today we're going to take a look at my Game Week 14 team selection. So I am lining up 3 changes. That will be a -4 for my team, but I do think like these changes will set my team up quite nicely for the medium to long term. So I am keen on these moves. I'll share it with you guys in this video as well, and as per usual, I'll quickly go through how I did in the last game week, which wasn't as good. Right, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. Once again, shouting out the charity drive that we're doing until Christmas. I will be donating 20 pence per new subscriber from now until Christmas, so do check out the description for further information on our charity drive. But as always, if you do want to contribute, all you have to do is just hit that subscribe button. Right, so here let's talk about Game Week 13 first before we go into my Game Week 14 transfer plans as well as how my team looks like. So for Game Week 13, to make a long story short, I didn't do that well. 43 points, which is 3 points lower than the average, and I dropped rank from 784k all the way down to 938k. So I guess you could say I'm just in the top 1 million in the world. Not where I want to be at this point for sure. I think there are a couple of mistakes and players that I've brought in that have not done as well. So I guess there are some areas that I can improve in my game, and hopefully moving forward there is still quite a long while, so I'm quite optimistic still that I can get a good rank by the end of the season, but I will have to address some of the mistakes that I'm making as well. So talking a bit about the players in my scores for Game Week 13, Areola got 3 points. Once again, West Ham didn't manage to keep a clean sheet there. They were trailing for majority of the game against Burnley as well. So, for them to come away with 2-1, that was quite, fortunate for them. And once again, Jarrod Bowen missing out for them could be quite an issue. So it remains to be seen how long Jarrod Bowen will be out for. For now, it seems as if he will miss the games in Europe for West Ham. But over the weekend, come Game Week 14, there is high hopes that he will be back. So let's see what happens or what David Moyes says. So as for my defenders, 1 point for Gehi, 2 points for Livramento, and 0 points for Castro. I really lost out here as compared to those FPL managers who have Arsenal defenders. So let's say you have Gabriel, or you have Gabriel and Saliba. Both of them got clean sheet points this week. So I really lost out there in terms of defensive points compared to the majority of FPL managers. Now in midfield, once again, quite disappointing there from Son and Adingra. Saka got 8 points, coming away with an assist and 2 bonus. And as Salah, of course, came away also with an assist, 5 points for him there. Up front, Archer came in for Bowen, who did not play at all. Haaland got 7 points for his goal against Liverpool, and Watkins once again chipping away and getting a goal against Spurs. So actually he was on quite a number of bonus points if he didn't get the yellow card. So there could have been more points for Ollie Watkins, but not complaining there. So overall, in general, I think there are some issues in my team that I need to address, namely the defense, and some of the midfielders I think could be shifted around as well. So let's take a look now at my potential transfer moves going into Game Week 14. So looking at my transfers for Game Week 14, I've lined up 3 changes, and that's Bowen to Mbeumo, Son to Gordon, and Archer to Darwin Núñez, and this would be for a -4. So basically I've used 2 free transfers and taken 1 additional hit. So going into the players and why I've chosen to remove some of them as well as bring in these new assets. Bowen, let's talk about him first. I feel like he's a player that can be sold right now for a couple of reasons. Of course, I'll wait to see what David Moyes says. But given that the nature of his injury is somewhere around his knee, usually that kind of casts a little bit more doubt. Even if he comes back for Crystal Palace, I'm not so sure whether he'll play the full game. And, there's a good chance he may get injured again. I just feel as if the risk with Bowen is quite high right now. And on top of that, he will be playing Crystal Palace now in Game Week 14, which is not bad. But moving forward, the fixtures start to get a little bit tougher. So I think this is a chance for me to sell Bowen. I've brought him in quite early as compared to other people who just bought him in for maybe this Burnley game and then he suddenly got injured. So I've bought him in quite early. I've got a couple of returns from him. I'm happy to sell him right now to the other midfield options that I have, which is Mbeumo and Gordon. I think there's a good chance that either of Mbeumo or Gordon will outscore Bowen during this, the next couple of game weeks. Now, for Son as well, it's the same logic here. I think they have Man City now in Game Week 14. 2 game weeks later, they will have Newcastle. So tougher fixtures for Son. In no way am I saying that Son is a bad asset. I think it's perfectly fine for some of you guys to hold him if you don't have to make any urgent transfers. But for me, selling Son just allows me to get Darwin Núñez up front, which I think if I compare these two assets, Son and Darwin, I do feel like Darwin has a good chance of outscoring Son at least up till game week 18, which is the blank, right? So that's why I've kind of, lined up these changes. I haven't confirmed them yet, but I'm very, very keen on these moves. And basically selling Son would free up the funds to go for Darwin Núñez, to basically upgrade Archer to Darwin Núñez. So looking at these three players that I'm bringing in, Mbeumo, Gordon and Darwin Núñez. Mbeumo, once again, he plays Luton now in game week 14. He's already the most transferred in player, and for good reason. Looking forward into in the medium and long term, Mbeumo's fixtures are really good. Just the blank in game week 18 that needs to be navigated, but I think I will be able to navigate that blank by just benching Mbeumo for that game week. Gordon as well, he's kind of a longer term play. I think now he has Manchester United at home, which is not a bad fixture at all. Newcastle have players coming back from injury, and we already saw their performance against Chelsea. Once their key attackers come back, players like Isak, Almiron, Gordon up front, I think it looks really good. They are still a very, very good attack. And Gordon, I think, for his price point, 5.9, is just someone that I really want for a team that's scoring loads of goals. Of course, you could choose to go for Palmer, but I think I'm having the game week 18 fixture in mind here, where game week 18 Gordon has Luton. So that's kind of what's playing on my mind, and I do think like this is a chance for me to choose between Gordon and Palmer, and I'm kind of leaning towards Gordon for now. Alright, and then there's Archer to Darwin. So for Darwin Núñez, I think over this period, he will be a very, very good differential. I don't think a lot of people will be able to get to Darwin Núñez. So by taking this -4, selling Son and going for Darwin Núñez, I'm kind of hopping a little bit earlier in the curve. The next three fixtures are really good for him. And of course, the reason why I'm slightly more hot on Darwin Núñez is because Jota has now picked up an injury that will rule him out for quite long. So once again, one less attacker just basically means that Darwin Núñez's minutes will be better moving forward. So that's why I'm kind of taking the risk here and going for Darwin Núñez, and I think it should pay off, right? I like these moves as well as the fixtures that these players have and the attacking potential and haul potential that they have. So I'm lining up these three moves. Let me know what you think about them in the comments down below, and let's now take a look at my full squad with these changes made. So if I do make those three transfers, this is how my team would look like for game week 14 in a 3-4-3 formation. As I mentioned, bringing Darwin Núñez in basically changes my formation to a 3-4-3. I have Areola in goal. He hasn't been keeping a lot of clean sheets, but again, I'm not too keen on making keeper transfers. I'd rather spend my transfers elsewhere in the outfielders with a higher ceiling. So I'm happy enough to go with Areola. Hopefully he keeps a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. I do have plans later on to maybe upgrade Turner to either of Raya or Sanchez, because Chelsea and Arsenal's fixtures start to get better and they do rotate well with Areola. So there are plans for that, but at least not for game week 14. In defense, I have Taylor, Tsimikas and Cash, all pretty decent fixtures. Tsimikas, he has Fulham at home. Hopefully he plays this one. I will monitor his minutes in Europe as well. For Matty Cash, there is a bit of concern as to whether he will start because he was taken off at half time, and he has Bournemouth away. So there are a group of players who are selling Matty Cash even though he has Bournemouth away. So I feel like this is a good chance for me to actually keep him, and hopefully he does well against Bournemouth. I do understand why some people are selling him because he is starting to be a bit of a doubt, and clean sheets are few and far between for Aston Villa, but at least for my team, given that the transfers I'm making are all in the midfield and forward positions, I'm happy to have Matty Cash against Bournemouth for game week 14. Moving forward, I may sell him. And then there's Taylor against Sheffield at home. Now, if there's any game that Burnley will keep a clean sheet in the Premier League, at least this season, it has to be Sheffield at home at Turf Moor. So hopefully they do keep a clean sheet there. And in midfield, I have Salah, Gordon, Mbeumo, and Saka. So Salah and Saka, I've had them for quite a while already. So they have home fixtures, both of them on penalties, etc. I'm really happy to have both of them. Saka as well, I do hope that his numbers start to improve once Odegaard comes back into the team. Already in Europe, in the Champions League, we saw them score 6 goals. So hopefully the attacking numbers are buoyed by Odegaard's return. Now for Mbeumo and Gordon, both of them have home fixtures. Manchester United for Gordon, which is a fixture I definitely think Newcastle can score a number of goals there. Mbeumo has Luton at home, so again, really good fixture for Mbeumo. And Gordon and Mbeumo, I feel moving forward would take me to quite a number of game weeks. I think up to game week 18 at least. Both of them have really good fixtures. 18, I'll probably bench Mbeumo. And after 18, Mbeumo just has great fixtures as well. So Mbeumo is definitely someone I have to bring in this week. And for me, it was more of thinking of how to get the funds for him. And players like Gordon and Darwin are players that I think are good punts, moving forward. So up front in the forward positions, once I've brought Darwin Núñez in, I have him here, Fulham at home, Tottenham at home for Haaland, and Bournemouth away for Ollie Watkins. So on paper, all great fixtures. Darwin Núñez, once again, I feel will be a very, very good differential for my team. And I do hope like going for him will kind of get me ahead of the curve, because I don't think there are a lot of people that can get to Darwin Núñez at least. Right, so for now, captain's armband is on Haaland because at home, I do feel like Erling Haaland has done really, really well. And of course, Man City are playing so good football right now. They have just come back 3-2 against Leipzig in the Champions League after they've made a couple of tactical swaps. So I guess attackingly, they are still very strong. Haaland is still scoring loads of goals, and against Spurs, who play such a high line, for now I have him with the armband. Salah plays Fulham at home, which is also a very, very good also a very good captain. So I have the vice captain on him. There's a good chance I may switch, but for now it is on Haaland, and we'll see what happens on the deadline stream. Right, so on the bench I have Turner, Adingra, Livramento, and Guehi. So not great fixtures for all of them from a defensive point. Livramento and Guehi, that's why they're second and third on the bench. Adingra plays Chelsea away. For Adingra, I do think like he will be in my team for a while more, because he does have alright fixtures moving forward. I think from an attacking standpoint, Brighton are still pretty alright. And Adingra is just 5 million, so he's alright to bench. I'm happy to have him there. And yeah, Turner, once again, as I mentioned, I will have plans to ship him out sooner rather than later. So there we go. This is my potential team for Game Week 14, assuming I make those 3 transfers. Let me know what you guys think. Would you sell Son? Are you as keen on selling Son as I am? And let me know of other differentials that you're bringing in. So for my team, I've gone for Darwin Núñez here. Maybe you're going for Isak. Let me know down in the comments below. I'd be keen to know what you guys are doing for Game Week 14 as well. But if not, I will catch you guys in the deadline stream for Game Week 14. 3 hours before the deadline as always. And once again, shouting out the charity drive that we're doing. Just subscribe and I will be donating more money to charity. So thank you guys for watching to this point, and I'll catch you guys at the deadline stream this weekend.